Live tonight on American Zombie. Like, say, what's up? Calix, my brother, Bronson. Cheers, man. Always a brother, man. Always peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, brother. We got the link pinned to the top. Beyond the physical, expanding our comprehension of reality. And when life is thought of in a beyond the physical manner, scientifically, it starts to become kind of very curious, wonderful in ways for me. But I don't see too many purely scientific directions like this. Most will veer toward the evolution, others will veer back towards something that would be religious, but not as in depth as I would like to get, because the physical and the non-physical have like a point where they meet. When we think of just the consciousness of how we think and talk, contemplate, interact with one another, create, it to me, it's very odd. It's very odd. Existence is extremely odd. Reality, the physical existence we see, then the fabric of reality, existence on like a plane level, just like everything going out forever, infinitely. But what about the non-physical, beyond the physical? So we know what physical is, and we start to see these glimpses of things that might still be physical, but we can't see them. Air, we can feel it, but we can't see it. That's amazing when you think about it. That's kind of amazing, but it is still physical. So we can see air. We can see, honestly, like even if somebody were to color the air with, say, a colored smoke, we're seeing the smoke and the currents of the air, but the air itself still remains invisible when it's clear. So just like water, you can put something in there, but water, you can, as well, you can feel it too. But the non-physical, what would be not beyond the gassy-ish, because the gas we see condenses into the liquid and can evaporate back into the gas again. Even form ice, it can form the solid. That's the one thing about ice, about water. So the physical with the non-physical part of us that thinks evolution, religion of evolution will push the idea, even though it's an idea. You can even call it a theory about consciousness, but it's still not positive fact. Consciousness seems to be something that either joins with the body or the body receives, possibly coming from another source. So maybe it's something like that, or maybe it is a physical and non-physical combination that creates the sentient, or what some would call the sapien. Mr. X, brother, thank you for the support always, man. Great topic. Thanks, man. Thanks, bro. Yeah, and I know Mr. X knows a lot about this subject, the non-physical, beyond the physical, expanding our comprehension of reality to see what is just the thoughts of what goes beyond the physical. Like when we start to think beyond the physical, it somehow, I get the feeling like it makes it easy for the physical behavior to become better. So it's like more of a not being as material. So it's sort of like not total minimalist, but definitely close to say they're physical. Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful experiencing it, but there's other parts of it. Mr. Rex, what's up? How's everything?
Good, good. Glad you're having the stream on my day off. So appreciate this.
Oh,
Good
cool,
topic.
cool. This is great, man. Any thoughts on the topic?
Oh, I got a lot of thoughts, a lot of thoughts. And I want to start off by saying I don't claim to be an expert on this. I have opinions and I have things that I've experienced that I think have been told to me, but in
Mhm.
no way, shape, or form do I claim to be an expert or to know everything about it. But I think this is something everybody can share a little bit of experience with, and we can come to some type of information that you're never going to learn in a science book, because when we're dealing with the metaphysical, we're getting into the supernatural realm now. We're leaving science and we're getting into the supernatural. And the only question is it true? If it is true, irregardless of what science says, we still have to explore it and look at some of the evidence and, you know, maybe we can get information about it. But it's definitely real. The metaphysical is definitely real. We're not just this physical being. This wasn't our beginning and this isn't our end. There's a metaphysical realm that we're going to go on back to, for sure.
Exactly, and that's a good way to look at it too. Very, very. It just feels reassuring to know when somebody says there wasn't any beginning. Added in, it's easier to see that things will go on forever somehow
Hmm.
with like an infinity, just the way outer space goes on. But to see that reverse position, the inward, the before. So there, we existed before this
Yes,
somehow.
we
That's the
did.
real. That's an amazing thought.
Isn't it? Isn't it really? I mean, doesn't it change your perspective on things a little bit? I mean, to think that this wasn't the beginning, I think it does for me personally.
Me too. Yeah, it has a profound effect, and I think that it's like in a way, it's making it makes it more comprehensible.
Yeah, and don't you feel like if you look deep within yourself and really ponder that idea, that it seems true?
Well, I think it seems true because of of kind of comprehending infinity.
Mm-hmm.
And comprehending infinity, it shows me like, wow, things, it's like a mathematical understanding. We know that numbers, if we count upwards, will always continue to go upwards. So no matter what number we get, they try to say a Googleplex and stuff like that. Like I think a Googleplex is one with 100. A Google is one with 100 zeros. I think a Googleplex is either a Google amount of Googles, something like that. So
Hmm.
it's just a very, very like extremely. You're getting into mathematical numbers that start to border the realms of reality, actually, to show how
Hmm.
math can give us that insight, just the way we can do it with probability math, to see how can something eventually form into another life form, and the probability factors are just ridiculous. And then there's some parts, like we know, with irreducible complexity and other things, which the evolutionists will laugh at that. It's actually gotten to a point where they're like straight in the asylum, like straight in the mental hospital, the psychiatric ward or something. It just laughing out of the window, like
I believe.
trying to mock people. And we're presenting evidence, really. Basically, we're just saying, look, this is evidence that we need to look at. And they will try to say, oh, or are you talking about irreducible complexity? And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, and they consider that pseudoscience, which is anything but. It's not pseudoscience. It's
Yeah.
it's proven science. I mean, that it is irreducible complex. But and they don't even want to investigate it. They just want to say, no, no, that guy's a fraud. He's already been exposed. Exposed by who? Please quote me the where he's been exposed, because I haven't seen it. It's just they will resort to lying to defend their position. That's sad. You know?
Yeah, yeah. They always have too.
Mhm.
I mean, we saw the Piltdown Man. I think Dawson also had a lot of fakes in his collection
Mhm.
when they exposed the fraud of Piltdown Man. And the one who really did a lot of research to go into that was Michael Cremo. He actually did some forbidden archaeology and stuff like that. But he really he brought to light, like, look, scientists lie, they cheat, they steal. And he got on a lot of religious shows. His videos, I think, are still up on YouTube in black and white. Has some good interviews where he started talking with a lot of, I think it was like evangelical Christian shows, because he himself, I think, is a Hare Krishna. And him and Richard Thompson, I guess, converted, whatever. Richard Thompson passed. I think they may have, it was kind of under odd circumstances where I think he was found floating in the swimming pool. They said it was a heart attack, I think, but it was very odd. And they had researched every Western, modern, and even going back far into antiquity, archaeological find, even in other languages like German and French and stuff like that. And it took them 8 years to document all of the archaeological finds. And that's what they put with the book Forbidden Archaeology. And that showed stuff that they didn't include in the regular record. And they showed how when they find stuff that they can't include, they don't include it. And this is why you would see things that people will say, oh, well, I heard they found giant bones and this and that. Well, if we already see how they protect they militarize a lot of these sites, like Göbekli Tepe was filled back in. I mean, that's like just a crime. You look at Egypt with Zawi Hawass and stuff, what's going on. They're openly preventing people from studying the true history of our past, openly.
And the question is, why? Why are they trying to hide things? What is their motivation? There must be something.
Yeah, I think it'll show us that we're more powerful than we think we are, a lot more. And not saying it it's not, this is not to say it in a threatening manner or anything like that. This is to say it in a manner that is showing how great people are. Something that's amazing about existence, where if we were to see that we were much more than the physical, like there was a researcher, the guy for the hieroglyphs, uh, Delubix, I think his name was. Yeah, Delubix. I think he's a French. They call him an occult philosopher, right? Unorthodox Egyptologist,
Hmm.
and he was the one that said, "Hey, this block over here. If you look at what's written on it, and you look in the next room, it kind of matches up in a way that shows a more complete picture, because it's like missing stuff in between, but when you add them together, it's as if this was transparent, this block, I'd be able to see the other block. It lines up." And he did all the measurements and everything. So he was showing, like, in a way, they were trying to say that the physical block is transparent. The physical is like transparent in a way, can be seen through. It's actually an illusion in a way, like not a total illusion, but saying it can be seen through, like transparently. If you can see through physical existence, you can add stuff together and get a fuller message. And also the way they hid that type of hieroglyphic message too, that's kind of encoded as well, so it's to say, okay, that's a high advanced way of hiding knowledge. And they also found it in the papyrus writings and other stuff, artifacts and stuff like that. So this is really deep because it shows you that there's hidden writings and artifact hieroglyphs when you look at different things in accordance with it, if as if it were transparent, to say, okay, this lines up with this on the back of the hieroglyph. If everything was transparent, where would it would it join together and form a two together like a new hieroglyph, which is the case of what Lubix is saying, the Lubix is saying. So, the physical, saying like the temple itself is a living, thing. It's one piece.
Wow. Yeah, that's something to digest there. Definitely want to do more research on this.
Yeah, yeah. It's they have like a pretty good video of it on YouTube
Mhm.
about the basically the hieroglyphs and the architecture. They're saying is, because it's funny how they try to, I mean, just listening to the regular explanation is literally unbelievable. They try to say it's not merely decorative. So they try to say some of the hieroglyphs, are just basically decorative. When you look at most of them, it seems as if everyone has a meaning.
Yes.
Doesn't seem like, just somebody was making art. And they're saying, it's rather a sacred science or symbolic language that encoded a profound understanding of human consciousness and cosmology. That's pretty deep.
Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, like the Egyptians were tying in the metaphysical to the physical, the two different realms together. You think
Hmm.
two different dimensions? They were sort of showing the connection between the two.
Some type of connection, but also a realization that the physical is like transparent. Trying to think of a better way to say that. Not that it's, I don't know, I want to say invisible, but I mean, when I look at all of the stuff from ancient Egypt, especially the sarcophagus,
Mm-hmm.
or like it looks like, the modern coffin, the modern coffin has that square shape. But where did that come from? I wonder. It's like you look at the matrix pod, very close. Kind of makes me wonder, like, what is it? Why do people these well, I don't think they've ever found the pharaoh um buried in any of those like sarcophagi. Like some of the sarcophagus that they found, they look very like mechanical in nature. I don't know if you've ever looked at some of the stuff.
I've seen some of it. Yeah. I'm just kind of looking things up right here. It did say in ancient Egypt, as described in the Book of the Dead of the ancient Egypt, that the text detailed soul's journey in preparation for higher realms, suggesting a sophisticated spiritual technology where the spirit could travel through modern interpretations, often blend with the ancient ideas and later occult traditions. So they definitely did practice astral projection was a big part of their society.
Hmm.
Connecting with higher dimensions or involving the preparation of connecting with the higher dimensions. So I don't know if that ties in with the sarcophagus because that I assume that was the coffin for the I know for the pharaohs and some of the royalty preparing to go on to the next life.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely had a lot of text writing about the next life.
Hmm.
But also like what they would consider to be more primitive tribes, like, well, not that primitive, but kind of like the Celtics which I think had the Druids, and I forgot. I think it was three different factions. The Druids, I think, were the priest caste of yeah. Let me see. Of the Celtics. Okay. Says yes. The Druids were the priestly, learned class of the ancient Celts, serving as religious leaders and high advisors. Wow. A lot of influence. It's amazing how religion and how that whole religious order type of stuff, I mean, the mental, you look at human structure and certain, I guess it would be called tribal structure. It's like, it's almost ant-like, like with the positions. Most of what we know comes from Roman writers. So we already know history is written by the victor, by like Julius Caesar, Tacitus, as the Druids themselves have left no written accounts. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's brutal. Nobody talks about that.
No, a lot of this information is kept hidden, but it's
Yeah.
out there somewhere. And
Yeah. It's like people don't realize it's like this is serious stuff. The Druids basically, like, see, this is the stuff they don't want people to see because they want to keep people separated. Like, oh, look at what they did when they went to Africa or North America over here to the natives, but they did it to the people right there, the Druids, the Celtics.
mhm,
The Celtics held them off for a while, but the organization of the Roman army, the legions, just the technological hidden stuff in there, because they definitely had a type of technology. All ancient cultures. You know, there was one thing about one of the inventors showing what appeared to be like a form of metallic glass. And when I forgot which emperor it was, when he threw it down, it dented instead of breaking. And they say that he had the guy killed because he thought it would undermine the value of glass. But who
mm,
knows, you know? Who knows what it might, you know, again, history is told by the victor.
exactly, exactly. And I wonder with these druid cults, yeah, they happen to be. We have some historical record of them existing, but these practices are probably still practiced today amongst in secret. They're still going
Mhm.
on today. I don't think it's ever stopped.
Yeah. It was probably warring factions between two witches and warlock covens, like, because all of this stuff is like witchcraft or something. It's like
Right.
some type of sorcery, the language, all of that. I mean, looking at the English language and being able to decipher and respell the words to see if there's anything written is just an amazing thing. I think we overlook the magic of that, to be like, wow, look at that. That's just amazing. But yeah, yeah, when I think about it, we are in a very magical type of thing
Hmm.
that they don't want us to look at as that way. Not to say it's like straight never ending story or something like that, even
Right.
though a lot of those movies, I mean, they have a piece of the puzzle.
Yes. They try to expose a little piece.
Divine Hazel, good, good to see you. Yeah, Jake fell asleep last night. He was saying,
Oh yeah, yeah, it usually does. It's-
Yeah. It's but beyond the physical, it makes me wonder that we're going there, but I wonder, it's like, am I thinking about it too much? I never really thought about it when I was younger.
No, me neither. But as you age and we get to a certain point in life, I think that's where it opens up. You know, we start wondering. I mean, maybe some people don't, but some people. It's also through life experience. It's just that question of why are we here? What are we doing here? I just don't think you can get that out of your head. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's just a part of reality. You know. So how can you escape reality? You know, you can't. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, is this the only existence? Is this it? Because once you just reach a certain age, I think we all have regrets. We wish we had done certain things differently. Like I know, for me, for certain, I look back, oh, when I was a young man, I wish I'd done this, or I wish I'd made these decisions. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you can't blame yourself because you weren't the same person as you are today.
Yeah.
But having regrets is what brings in, what am I doing here? Am I going to go to the end still having these regrets?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, why am I here then? You know, uh,
Do you think that the regrets have a lot to do with it? That if you kind of like try to remedy that it might make it better?
um, well, I view regret as just a normal part of this physical realm. I think when we leave, we're going to always have regrets about what we didn't do. I do believe that. And that's just, I don't look at it as bad or good. I just look at it as the reality of this existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's inescapable. You're always going to end up having regrets in your last breath. And I think it's okay. It's just, it's a part of this physical realm. You can't
Do
escape that.
do you think it's a way to let those regrets go? A way to and I hear you, Divine Hazel, definitely. Yeah. You can practice alchemy. There are so many different, see, that's the beautiful thing about that natural world. It's infinite. It's infinite. I mean, the forest and these beautiful you think about the mysteries of just like a forest, and the different types of forests, going from the north, where it has like very, very large amounts of snow, and then northern Canada, then northern USA is a different climate. Still can get cold in the winter, but also it gets warm. Sometimes it can be very warm in the summer. And then as you go more south, you get to the warmer climates, no snow. And then you go more south, and then you're just in the tropics. It just when I think about that, it's like just looking at everything, the way thing works. It's really amazing.
Yeah, and it just screams order and design. It doesn't scream by chance.
Yeah.
The fact that you can look at nature, like I have on a video on right now on YouTube on my television, it's of Greece, and it's a beautiful place. Love to visit it 'cause that's my main passion in this part of my life is to travel.
Hmm.
But it's like, then what defines beauty? If you think about it, we can
Hmm.
look at things and they seem miraculous, but what
Yeah.
defines that? How do we even perceive what is beautiful? Um, it has to be something of made of order and design in order for that to be the case. Uh, yeah, it's there's more to this physical realm than meets the eye, and perhaps we perceive certain things on our minds or our consciousness perceives the metaphysical that we can't see consciously. Maybe that's what makes it appealing. Also, so I think that's the big thing. They just don't want us getting involved too much, digging deep into our spiritual connection. I don't think they want that. They feel that that would be a threat. They want us to remain in this physical realm, not thinking of the metaphysical at all. It's easier to control people that way as zombies. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely people are clearly controlled if they don't keep their awareness to be aware. It's like everybody sleeps, but to be able to shake off, I mean, they're constantly coming at people with all of these different types of we see entertainment, distractions. And when you think about what's really going on, all we can see is this big distraction. So how would we really know what's going on?
Yeah.
Because it's always a distraction.
And if we can get in touch with our metaphysical side, it might make us more wiser, more astute, more aware of what's going on.
Hmm.
And they don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because people might begin to see through the illusion, to see that there is more than what we're being told. The physical, that their reality. I mean, the fact that they set up panels
Mm-hmm.
of so-called scientists to talk about how everything was created, and not every, it's a cult. It's a cult to where nobody can really, anybody that tries to talk and say, hey, you know what, scientifically the information, the data is not lining up with what you're trying to claim as science.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't ever get to see that. So you can see the cult like temperature, the fact that that dissent doesn't exist. And if anybody tries to come up, the sad thing too, where I think it's also like it could be part psyop, is when the Christian fundamentalists or the scientists as well put forth evidence that shows the inaccuracies in the science that's trying to be used, or what's trying to be used as science to prove evolution. But then they come with the religious side so strong that it throws people off of the initial topic.
Mm. That's an interesting point. Yeah. Um, yeah, like I say, I think most people with the evolution, the majority of people said that's what I learned in school. But that's all. That's all I think that needs to be accomplished with it. Because if you just accept that, then you never even think that you have a metaphysical side to yourself. So you never even bother to explore that.
Hmm.
And that's enough to keep you in the zombie state. Then your whole life is based on the physical stimuli that's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, letting that
Yeah.
control you, whether it be through media, consumerism, anything. Because I
Yeah.
think we're developed to worship something. We have to worship something.
Now, what if people, there has to be the fact that we're saying, well, that you're saying that you have to worship something. Wouldn't there be the opposite of that has to exist just to know what it is to worship something? You would have to have others with the free will of not to worship something, or like what would be the parameters? Like, would it be them worshiping nature, so they're worshiping something, or can they honestly worship nothing and still be, I guess, what would be considered good?
Well, when I say worship, I mean what we mean is that's the way we were created. We were built that way to worship something. We're either going to worship, whether it be a religious aspect, a sports aspect, a political. We're going to have. Are we going to have some type of worship of something? There's going to be something we're going to put as the ideal thing that what life is all about. For some, it might be education. For some, it might be just money. They
Mm,
worship the money. Um,
mm,
but you see that everywhere. I mean, all people
Mm,
have something that
okay.
they're passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And I think that's just the way we're designed. Like, we're designed to just put something at an ideal standard. Something is out there for us. It's a different
What
for everybody. You
What's something that you wish you would have did better?
know. Great question. Great question. Um, well, it's a great question, but it's also a hard question because it's like what I'd like to do better was to be 18 again with my brain that I have now and my life experience. Um,
Hmm. Hmm. That's
that's
cool.
Yeah, that's the best way I can put it because it's
Or
like
just one at a time, like one thing at a time. Like, what's one thing? Gaia, what's up? Good to see you. Says, hey, what's up to everybody?
I definitely would have focused on learning another language earlier.
Mm,
I had,
okay.
yeah, I definitely would have done that.
Okay.
But at the same time, what is maturing? How can you mature unless at some point that you're immature? So I guess it's part of the
And
existence that we lead.
was there any type of profession maybe you might have wanted to get into?
Maybe something more with my hands. Maybe more. I'd be more prone to do something like that. Um, you know, engineering. Who knows? Maybe even running a farm. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
yeah. But at the same time, our interests when you're young, when I was young, at least, you hear all kinds of stuff of this is what you should be or this is what you should be doing, and of course they make it sound easier said than done, and they don't tell you the truth about certain fields. Um, it's more about who you know than what you know. Um, so, but that's just gained through life experience. I probably
Yeah.
would have enjoyed doing something with my hands, maybe something more outdoors, whether it be
Hmm.
construction or something like that.
No, that's cool. No, it's definitely cool. And you're right. It just, Christopher, good to see you. Christopher says, I wish I'd go back in time knowing what I know now. Yeah, man. Yeah, that would be great. That would be so great. It's like I could see knowing, and if even if there was parameters, like just knowing what I know now. I mean, I don't remember everything from the past. Yeah. It's actually a really good to say, okay, uh what would we do? I think I would study, honestly, part of me just says studying computers more, like um maybe trying to get into something because that was the cutting edge in the late 80s,
Yeah.
going into the home systems for video games. Then um through the 90s was like preparation for the dot coms, which I heard a lot of people did very well. Yeah, yeah, something like that. I mean, I wouldn't go back. I mean, I would definitely be much, not that I wasn't kind already, I would be much more kind
Sure.
because you start to see how beautiful of a thing that is, how beautiful the moment was, how precious every moment is, and you see like, wow, this is something this is amazing.
But sometimes people, especially when they're younger, just
Mm.
coming out of teenagerhood, if they grew up in certain situations where they were surrounded by older people who weren't so kind, you know what I mean, or judgmental and so forth,
Mhm.
you can't really blame them if they pick up those traits because that's all they knew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It takes a while for them to become their own person and learn through life experiences that that wasn't the way to do things.
yeah.
And that's why I think one of the worst things a person can do is to corrupt the mind of the youth. Like, say, if you have a child and to corrupt them with, the wrong information or the wrong way to approach life.
Yeah, it's horrible. That's
Yeah.
horrible. When you look at, if you just looking into school, I mean, it's just school, for school to do that, the people that you trust not to do it, that's the scary part. And
Right.
then the abuse that some kids see, at home, even if it's arguments. A lot of people don't realize how detrimental that is to a growing child's mental health, is seeing when his or her parents argue.
Mm-hmm.
That has an effect that
Or single motherhood too, because I'm
yeah.
not just saying this based on videos I've seen. I've actually talked to people one on one,
Hmm. Hmm.
and you hear the same story. The mother was out of control and trying to impress other men, and that's very dysfunctional for a child. They don't want that. They want a mother and a father, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And stability. But, these kids nowadays, especially in single mother households, major
Hmm.
instability. So it's no wonder they turn out, not all, of course, but a lot of them turn out dysfunctional.
Hmm. Yeah, guy is ready to rule the world. Yeah, there is a huge difference between wisdom and integrated wisdom. Yeah, man.
Interesting.
Yeah, very, very true with that. It's nurture. Yes, we need to focus on proper ethical nurture. Yeah, man. Nurture. I mean, it's so much potential. We see how potential is like multiplied with good nurture, with
Yeah.
love, with care, how it returns in a good way. Like The Secret Life of Plants, that book had a guy talking about the farms back in the early 1900s, late 18, early 1900s, and how they were so perfect because everything would work in a cycle of recycling and composting. And even with all the animals, he said that with the natural stuff in the ecosystem that they have there, that's like just the area, it even kept serious diseases under control, like hoof and mouth for cattle. So stuff like those diseases could still be very much dealt with in a natural way. But once unnatural means started coming in the book The Secret Life of Plants was talking about how that it made an imbalance. So the natural way, the balance, keeping the balance is really the key.
hmm Yeah, and that's one thing I think the people at the top understand. By keeping society unbalanced and not in the natural way, they can control it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's very much so. Yeah, definitely, definitely. The very, very, very hard workers. Yeah, the I think about how the physical one. We know if we keep in mind that we're only here for a limited time beyond the physical behavior, I would think would become better somehow.
I think so.
Like more appreciative, maybe.
hmm But also, I'd change our perspective too. If we knew this wasn't the only life and that there was an existence beyond this life, I think the decisions we would make would be different too. And I mean more in a moral, ethical manner. Maybe not for everybody, of course, but I mean, it's definitely changed my life for how I view the world. That's for sure. Uh, might not get to travel the whole world, but I definitely see that it's the moral decisions I make in this life are going to have repercussions to the next one. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. The shortness of time makes your time far more precious. It is the most precious. It's so true, man. It's so true. It makes me wonder, like, I really, when I look back, nostalgic at the past, look at other things, look at the present, the forward, it just, yeah, to come to that conclusion is even like, wow, because some people don't even come to that.
Hmm.
They stay in Fantasy Island.
That's right.
They
And I
don't.
remember yesterday when Jake asked me, he asked me if I thought things were worse today in comparison to the past, you know? And my answer was, well, yes and no. And he thought that was kind of a cop out, but I believe that's true. I believe the way things this life is set up,
Mhm.
I don't think any generation could say they had it the best
Yeah, exactly. There were benefits and drawbacks.
to everything, every generation.
Exactly.
Like I said, we can have this conversation right now. We couldn't do that back in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
But was the dating market probably better? Probably was back in the 80s. Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Pluses and minuses to everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. It's times change. I mean, we now, the fact that people can speak on the internet and talk with each other from different countries around the world, it's amazing. It is just amazing. It's like, wow, wow. It really makes it to where it's like, you start to see, like, and this is not current technology. Like, yeah, on YouTube people will say, okay, but there's many, many other things I've noticed people using, like different streaming, I think Restream or something like that. They had a couple of different ones I saw people using. um so yeah, it's growing. Yeah, it's growing. Yeah, people. But I'm glad because people can meet and talk with each other and share ideas. Otherwise, it would be impossible meeting these people in our lifetime.
Exactly. That's about what I
Yeah,
was thinking the whole time you're mentioning that.
yeah. Even traveling around, the chances would be like it. Just like, yeah, what we can do from online is just it really is amazing. It really is because the big thing is sharing information, sharing thoughts and viewpoints. Great, it really does help. But
It
sharing
does.
information, and that is sharing information, actually, thoughts and viewpoints. So yeah, just sharing information is just amazing. It really is.
No, when I come online like here, I can't. These aren't conversations I can have with anybody else, really. I
Mhm.
mean, the people that I meet,
Mhm.
they have
Yeah,
their minds on other things, whatever it is,
yeah.
sports or entertainment. You know what I'm saying? For me to
Mhm.
start talking like this or talk about evolution, it look, I get the deer in the headlights look. Like what's
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah. No, you already see the people in real life. It's a different story. It's very rare to meet people that are really aware.
Yeah, you'd have to actually go and search it out, but you have to. It would take so much time to do it in the real world. To
Yeah.
travel someplace to go search out
Mhm.
a forum. But here, it's a click of the mouse, and boom, we're
Yeah.
having these conversations on a stream.
Yeah.
You're in New York, I'm in Florida, and then we might get somebody, like Azarun comes in from India, and everybody shares all across the world, basically.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jake's in the Midwest, I think, and all of these guys were all over the place. I mean, Scribes in Panama, you
Yeah.
know. Um, we have just very, very, Mastiotas in Australia. He pops in every once in a while. Um, couple of I think it was like 10 days ago or something, he was in the chat, and then Grandmaster Yoda popped in. It was amazing. I was like, wow, I hadn't
Hmm.
seen him in a while. And but yeah, yeah, you think about the physical beyond the physical. It's like that whole thing, because we're in the physical, the majority is physical. uh
Hmm.
it's just kind of looked at like in passing, not taken as serious as it should be taken. I mean, that's a serious thing.
Oh, it is. Definitely changes your whole perspective of the world and your decision making too.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, how do you feel about like when I brought up about that you've existed before this physical? How do you interpret that, or how do you feel about it?
I think it's like For me, it makes me feel like, okay, and I kind of already know it, but it just confirms it when other people are like, yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
sounds very true. It just has, when they say something rings true.
Mm-hmm.
And to look at it like what you're saying, like look at it scientifically, how would I explain it to where it's a tough explanation. It's to say like whether it's existing in a form like we are now where we can communicate in this way, or existing in some type of more one with everything type of form. um Definitely there was some type of existing before this. When I look at scientific, uh like any type of thing I can refer to say, okay, what about the just being a part of everything? And then I say, okay, yeah, it took two people, my parents, to have me and
Mm-hmm.
other children, but to have them it took two people, and then to have those grandparents it took eight people, basically. So now we're saying, wow, so great grandparents, now we're seeing how much people it took to make these other people, to make your grandparents, to make your parents, to make you. So now, before the physical you, it can be kind of traced to like these eight people going back, and then it goes to 16 to the next generation. And the only way it's going to be not spreading outward is if the person is inbred to a certain degree, which, if it's something like way up the line, I mean, I'm not an expert on it, but I mean, it would be nice, I would think, not to have any. But everybody's going to have some type of thing. But when you go back, you start to say, wow, it takes all these people, right? This is amazing. And you start to say, well, how is that? For it to go back and just keep getting bigger and bigger, there has to be some type of overlap or something with other populations. Or, I
Oh,
mean,
of course.
again, it's a mathematical thing that if people start doing the mathematics on it, um, they would have to come up with these theories that they would probably put in with the fossil record, because they always use the fossil record to explain away what they can't explain. They'll say, oh well, this seeing finding this piece of corn petrified in like some sand that they say is this old, because that's the killer right there when they say, oh, it's this many, millions of years old, and it's just totally grossly unscientific, because
Oh,
there's no it's like saying, oh, so you dated it because of the strata of earth it was in, and that strata of earth is dated by the fossil you find in it. So it's a total back and forth type of thing. Yeah, it's ridiculous at that point.
and they don't even have, the so-called bones of Neanderthal man. I mean, the only thing they have is a drawing, basically, that somebody made, and they consider that the
Yeah,
sun.
yeah. And a lot of them too. They have a lot of drawings, a lot of propaganda to try to push something that's supposed to be scientific.
How is it scientific though? If it's just a drawing. You have no actual evidence. And when you did try to provide it, it was confirmed that it was a fraud. You took what was the Piltdown man? It was the head of a human and the jaw of an ape, I believe, or an
Hmm.
orangutan. Yeah, glued
Yeah,
together.
it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's like a pyramid scheme. It really is, man. It really is. It's like you look at that's the thing that makes me wonder, like the people forgetting, like the Men in Black neuralizer thing that made people forget in the movie. You see people see the things that happen, and then they'll say a new study said this, and that's the same people that just lied. The
Yeah.
same people that just lied or said something inaccurate or something, and people go ahead and believe them. They turn right around and believe them, Like it's like, wait, didn't they just not tell the truth over here? Like one guy was saying that about the Afghan thing, and he said, yeah, he goes, once first it was that story about the Afghan, and then it switched to Iraq. And he's like, nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that they switched what they were saying. So first it was Afghan, and then it was Iraq. And he's like, nobody noticed that. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. People were just so, when I think back to that and I say, wow, it was a mentally, I mean, it was right out of a movie when I think about it now. But I was still kind of shaken off because every day you get the zombie machine is on, it's full blast. So it's like the further I go back, I do see there was certain zombie behaviors definitely they hold you back to an extent. They definitely do. They definitely. It's not to say that you would be totally zombified. That's it. It's just to say you accomplish less because of that zombification. Which,
Sure.
yeah, everybody has a little. I mean, it'd be very, very, very hard to get through. I mean, it's messed up when you think about it because they're hitting everybody from all these different angles: the food, the clothing, the water, the air, the television media, any type of music, it's just like the religion, the politics. It's like the religion and politics can at least be held back once a person knows, once a person sees, like, oh yeah, this person is uh a zombie, so they know. Alexis, good to see you, bro. He says, there's so much more than these zombies think. Yeah, exactly. All they think about is politics, like MAGA Mike. They will never understand stuff like this. Exactly. Exactly, man. It really, yeah. And it's so sad because, yeah, MAGA Mike is just gone. Just the name. It's like, I feel for him. It's just to say that the zombies, you're right, Alexis. It just, what's up, bro? Good to see you, CD. Yeah, man. Yeah, they just they just think about that. Getting used to the new pick, but it's pretty. Thanks, man. You know what? I think maybe because I faced it the opposite direction. It used to face in the other way, so that might. Yeah, the old one. Yeah, I was thinking because I had it facing the other way. This one is more. Yeah, maybe I'll put. I'll kind of compare them again. But yeah, the whole going past the physical and understanding
Hmm.
this is more. Again, people might start to, it's just, you wonder what type of frame of mind is somebody going through when you bring it up to someone and they still want to be angry or confrontative or you
Yeah.
know yeah, you look at people and say, well, wait a second, don't you, so you don't get it. Basically, it's like, why would you want to if you only have a limited amount of time, why would you want to waste that fighting with somebody else?
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And to stay on that, people might actually, just in a sensible way, say, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, why would I wanna argue and fight with somebody when yeah, who knows? It's just like, but in a way, I could see people, you have to be kind of smart, or I mean, I don't want to leave it on just saying you got to be kind of smart, but it's more of like an awareness to be
Mhm.
like, hey, you know, usually you don't really see it as much when you're 20, thinking about what you did when you're 10, even though it's there. But as you get older, you start to see the value, like, oh wow, man, when I was 10, I mean, I don't really have too many memories of when I was 10. I'd have to think about it, and everybody knows how the years get kind of blended together, and you can't really exactly pinpoint the total year and the grade all the time. You might
Right.
get a little bit of a fragment of a memory here or there. And again, it makes you wonder that there's most in theory, and I think, to me, this theory, I don't see why it wouldn't make sense that we experienced every experience that we experienced. Why wouldn't it be somehow recorded in a type of visual and auditory memory?
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Well, part of having that experience that you're talking about, one way to look at it is we know about laws of logic, and laws of logic are non physical, but they're real and they exist and they're discovered through the mind. Nobody digs up a law of logic. Um, it's always been there, just like 1 + 1 = 2. But while there are laws of logics that apply to mathematics, I think there's also moral laws that exist that are also absolute, just like 1 + 1 = 2. So, one way to look at it is imagine going through your life thinking 1 + 1 = 3. That would make things pretty hard. You'd have a very difficult time in life if you thought that, because, it'd be hard to pass tests. It'd be hard to get a job. You'd be screwing things up all the time. Guy says, bring me two, and you bring him three. So you're not going to go against that law of logic. But if there's also absolute moral laws that are out there, that's where there's a little bit of a gray area, because we may not follow those laws and then we pay the price. And we only learn from that through life experience that, wait a minute, I better not judge others, or I know it's coming back to me. I've been through this before. This is something I've already gone through. And sometimes when we look back when we were younger, like we wish we didn't do certain things, like we acted immaturely, or maybe we were judgmental when we shouldn't have been. You know what I'm saying? Or we lost our temper when we probably should have just kept our calm. And I think that's part of the maturing process, is learning those moral laws too, that make your life easier.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely see what you, yeah.
And that's part of the metaphysical. There's probably metaphysical moral laws that are out there that we're not aware of. Um, that's where religion comes in. It talks about those laws, you know. Uh, to quote the Bible, judge not lest they be judged. Um, Once you know that it all comes back to you, that there's a metaphysical lawgiver out there, I think that can make your life a lot easier in the long run.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Karma is real.
Hmm.
It really is.
That karma, yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's just, but when do we understand how real it is? I think through life experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elon Musk, a very odd character. I see MAGA Mike and Brian. Yeah, we did go there. Um, Anybody that wants to put a chip, I think, didn't he say that in the beginning? He wanted to put a chip in people or something like that in
I've
the
heard
head.
something about him talking about the chip, Neuralink chip or something.
Once you hear that, it's like, how could you ever be on that person? Like, ever forget that they said that? Yeah, how could you ever be on their side, really? Because you'd always wonder, this person is going to be trying to get the chip in you,
But
right?
there's something more that meets the eye. You're talking about the world's richest man, or I don't know if he still is, but he was right there at one point. Oh, he's going to be the first trillionaire pretty soon. Why do you want to chip people? You have all that money and you want to chip people. What's wrong with this picture? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have all this money. You could be helping out the poor. You could be enjoying life, but your passion is to chip people. Something's wrong here. Something doesn't add up. Because if I won the lottery, I wouldn't be thinking about, oh, maybe I should invest in a company that chips people. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be thinking like that. It's like they're puppets. They're put in this position. I don't think they made it all on their own. They're just the face of something else. They were chosen just like the president.
Mm-hmm.
All that money they talk that they have, it's not all theirs. It's shared within a network of people. And they're just the face. Just like Trump is the face of he's the one that we see giving the orders, but there's other players behind the scenes. There has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really sad, Mega Mike, man, that I just don't see how I could support Elon, any billionaire, really, any billionaire. I just don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why would they be trustworthy? I forgot who it was. They asked him about, like, are there too many humans on Earth? And it got to where it was a profound question. And the guy, it was one of those questions that you don't need to pause to answer. If someone pauses, kind of says the answer in different ways. Like, and the person doesn't have to be a billionaire like the guy that was being interviewed. But if somebody says, hey, do you think there's too many people on the earth? What would the pause be for?
Mm.
It wouldn't be for no, right? It would be more for a yes,
Yeah.
I think, right?
But it's got to be an agenda. I don't believe that one man is going to create all this change. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely not.
It has to be a worldwide agenda within a elite group of society that we don't see, because probably most of them just would rather not be in public. They'd rather be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that island with that guy who passed away in the jail cell. What's that all about? That should tell you that there's something going on that we don't see. All these rich people going to an island somewhere. That there's something else going on behind the scenes. For certain.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, MAGA Mike, he can be all pro-Trump all he wants to, but he doesn't realize he's just the face of an organization that's been running things no matter who gets in office. That's the
Yeah.
part that he's not understanding.
Yeah. And yeah, no, you're right. I definitely I mean, Mike is going through some stuff. I think he's a good guy at heart. He's just kind of zombified by thinking Musk is cool. And I mean, these guys are not your friends. Ashar, good to see you. The money's not valuable to them because yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're not. They don't realize. Alexa says, why do these political clowns always believe the multi-billionaires are fighting for the common man? Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't see why they would believe that. It's just, yeah, it's like and it's not to say nothing bad against them. It's to say criticism in hope that they can awaken from the mental control of thinking. I mean, if you think somebody's gonna, I mean, that is it's really sad because, like I said, it's not that a person is bad. It's that they're believing in something that we see why they're believing. I mean, the political machine is everywhere. I mean, they're pushing it. It makes you wonder how people got infected. Like I was saying, could it be from the family, the friends, the schooling? We see it in many people get that political zombie thing when they're young sometimes. And this year, remember, this year is the 4th of July, 250th anniversary of the country.
Mm.
Yeah. So who knows what's going on? I mean, but I think, people are so asleep. The fact that, there's so much stuff. I don't even want to go too deep into the news about these politicians that are basically celebrities at this point. It's like a soap opera.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And Trump is probably doing the best job ever with the way he talks. It's like, you
Mhm.
can't tell me that it's not planned. He
All right.
doesn't screw up his words. It's there to create to get a reaction from people. It's purposely done.
Yeah, yeah, straight Academy Award. Yeah, he's acting for the Academy Awards. The way he he acts like he is qualified for the position he is in. And this is what we see with all of the other positions. When you see an actor in a position of political office, it's like, come on, you can't tell me this guy is qualified with budget and all this other stuff. No, you gave him the job because he's an actor and people he has charisma and people will follow him. It's all a brainwashing game.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised people don't see through it right then and there. It's like, wait, what do you mean David Lee Roth for governor? It's like, this guy's a freaking rock star. What are you, out of your mind? It's like he's a drug addict, probably.
Mm-hmm.
It just it I mean, the fact that the people that they have paraded around is literally it's insulting to the mind to think about it. It's definitely insulting. Mike said he didn't get infected, bro. It's all right, dude. We care about you, man. I mean, bro,
The
Trump
only
is
man
still
calling
one
it
of them.
out.
Oh my goodness, man. Trump is one of them, man. Yeah, Krubik, yeah, he was Clockwork was, yeah, Clockwork is masterpiece, man. Yeah, Clockwork. Um, yeah, man. And I understand it hurts. It hurts to think that the people or the person you believed in and cared about, and then it really does hurt. That's why I'm not trying to like just, I've seen too many people get bit by the political zombie, in that part of the spectrum. It's tough. It's like religion is harder because you don't want to tell somebody like, come on, man. I mean, they kind of know, like, okay, look, believing in something good, great, whatever. At least you're trying to pick out the bad parts. So they'll try to leave out the bad parts, knowing there's some atrocities and stuff in whatever book they believe in, or any of the books. You're going to find some atrocities. And I just leave it at that. Be like, hey, you know what? It's not a big thing. That's what, they are it's at a point where you got to think, okay, what is that person going through that they're just like, they basically just said, you know what, man, and they leave it at that. They just stop fighting to that point. And we see the other zombies throughout society. They put that pressure. I mean, they put that pressure on us to a point where it's just like, man, it just, yeah, yeah, has me
I mean,
kind
I agree with you. There's a lot of atrocities in religion. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But at the same time, we always got to be open minded and listen to different viewpoints too. Like I'm willing to listen to an evolutionist if he can provide me good, solid scientific evidence, but I've yet to hear it. You know.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
we can get you can get information. It's not, yeah, you're right. It's like, it's not saying that the person is going to totally, there's nothing that you can gain. There's going to be some people like that, but I don't see them as that many. But because most of those people teach you, okay, don't bother with them. That's really the lesson. But other people, it's sort of like, okay, all of this other stuff is very belief based, but this piece right here, that's true. That's a truth. And be kind to others or something
Mhm.
like that.
Sure.
The other stuff of having to do, what, they have like the rituals and stuff. I wouldn't say that that's necessary.
Oh yeah, you're talking strictly on religious basis. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some of the stuff is crazy.
But being kind to others, then that question in itself, what is kind? I mean,
Yeah.
that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
It makes you wonder, like the Alan Watt thing with the monkey.
Hmm.
Please let me help you from drowning. Send the monkey as he put the fish safely up a tree. So the fish ain't drowning. the monkey taking the fish out the water is actually to causing the damage. So it's like we start to get a broader insight too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sometimes we think we're helping and we're not. So that it's very important to study stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, like when we were talking about the Ten Commandments, and I just brought them up just because I had to do a refresher myself.
Mhm.
They sound good. Maybe to guys like us, they sound good. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. But that sounds great to us, but there's a lot of other people that would view those commandments as oppressive. A
Mm,
thief would have a hard time not coveting his neighbor's goods.
I think the only one that's very suspicious is the first one.
Oh, I am thy Lord thy God, thou shalt not have strange gods before me.
It has just a slight ring of paranoia,
Mm,
which shouldn't be there if something is all powerful. So,
mm-hmm.
or unless somebody fiddled with the text, which seems to be very, I don't see why that wouldn't exist somehow. They used to say the Quran doesn't have, like they're all the same, but that's been disproven, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's videos with that too. So, not to say that anything bad about their belief, it's saying that a lot of research needs to be done because there are some truths and many quotes, proverbs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what else was in there that we need to look at? Because that's very important.
You talking
Like,
about the Ten Commandments?
huh?
You talking about specifically the Ten Commandments?
No, like the Enoch and stuff.
Oh, okay.
The commandments. I would say that one is the main thing that raises an eyebrow to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, something or someone may have fiddled a little with that because it creates a control
Mm-hmm.
in a way, but also scientifically we want to look at, is it true? Could it be true? Is it true scientifically? Now we know creationism on the whole, creation not by chance, because the evolutionists, they really try to make it seem like it's creationism versus evolution. It's like, no, it's all creationism.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're really good with the word twisting. I've noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
Very you got to be real careful when speaking with them about certain things. But yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's good for debate, and when you go there prepared, you always win. It's like in the past with the other channel, the dating coaches. You always win. You know what I mean? But you're never gonna get the other person and say, "Yeah, I see it now." Um,
I
I
would just be happy having a conversation,
Yeah.
instead of like win or lose. Just, I don't know if, a lot of people do want to go into debating and stuff, but yeah, I would rather just say, hey, um, what about existence? What about genetics? Because, to get on common ground with the person, not saying you got to believe the same thing, but to say, okay, where are we starting at? Where is this person uh, a staunch believer in a certain religion? Are they a very, uh, like, staunch supporter in evolution, which again we know is a religion.
It is.
And that's the mind play. That's the strength of the mind play they have. I mean, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
I mean, you nailed it right there when you said where are they starting from. The problem with the evolutionists, a lot of times, they're not going to be honest to where they're starting from. Because
yeah,
I don't think they're starting from evolution. I think they're starting from anti-religion or anti-Christianity. That's where they're starting from. They would admit it. That's the problem.
Wow, that's actually a good way to look at it, man. Alexis says the Iraq War, like every other war past the 20th century, was just another money laundering scheme disguised as war. Man, I think it was General Smedley that talked about the war thing, in our opinion, that the war is like a really lot of to do with racket,
Yeah.
like racket type stuff. Yeah,
Well, I know right off the bat, Halliburton got over $100 million contract. This is what I read. It might have been higher too.
yeah, probably billion.
Yeah, to deliver food to the troops. Now, their Halliburton is an oil refining business. Taking oil, refining into gasoline. So how does that tie into delivering food to the troops? It's like, wait a minute, this is a separate business. Well, because they just need them. They contract some other outfit to do it to give food to the troops, and
Hmm.
they'll pay them like a very small percentage of what they received in government
Yeah,
contract, but they'll make
yeah.
a killing on it. So
Hmm. Yeah, Lord of War, man, this movie is really good. Yep. Lord of War, man, that's up there. That's top 10, without a doubt. That movie's so real with the arms business. I don't know if you ever saw it with Nicolas Cage, Lord of War.
get up right now.
Yeah,
Right.
it's actually, I mean, that movie is a really good movie. It's like, yeah, definitely top 10. And it's hard. I don't like to put the top 10 because, really it's a top 20 because there's just so many movies. Like, but that movie is, that's a pretty deep, whoever told the story knew what was up. I think there was a little bit of, they say, inaccuracies. Like, I think the brother didn't get ended. I'm not sure. I'd have to look deeper, but from what I heard. But yeah, he played a really good
Was it about money laundering in the war effort, or these
no,
companies?
it was him. He was a arms dealer. He was an
Oh,
arms dealer.
dealer.
And I think he was from Brooklyn, Brighton Beach or something. He was Ukrainian descent. And I forgot how he started selling the weapons. And he had like an uncle in the military in the Ukraine. And he was I think he was also getting weapons cheap from US military brass and reselling it to African like rebels or something like that.
Mm.
And he was showing like, this is what he does. And yeah.
I have to check that movie out. That sounds like a good movie. I didn't even hear about it from before.
Yeah, Lord of War is a pretty good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lord of War is pretty deep. It's I mean he shows he shows a glimpse into the world of arms trading. Kind of like I think it was like how not as far as in depth with the CIA doing the things to get the money for the Contra weapons, but something like that. Like who like Lord of War is like who's gonna sell these guys the weapons? And like it got into a little bit of politics at the end because he goes, look, you might not look at me as like a good guy, but I rub shoulders with some of the guys that rub shoulders with your enemies, with the friends, with the guys who are enemies of your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you can get, because America's like super warfare, if you can get the enemy of your enemy to do the work, you fund them.
Right.
So you got an enemy, and that's like some really high level war stuff that people. It's not really that high level, but people don't want to understand it. Yeah, man, the ending of Lord of War is super black pill. Yeah, totally, bro. It's like people. It's like the whole reality. I wonder about it. Is it that is it that pure and uncut that people need to dilute it? I think it was man, Lee, what was his name? Uh he does like talk shows, but he was saying that he goes, life is a drug. Don't ever let them give you the diluted version of it. You want it pure. And that's what they do. They dilute it with the news and stuff like that.
Yes.
People that can take life pure, it's like taking, whiskey without a chaser or something. It can be like that, or it can be cool, or it can be like sipping a beer or sipping a juice or something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I definitely want to check that movie out for sure.
Yeah, man.
You're a
Kasparov says, Black Mirror, I've saw like maybe two or three. I saw one where they were chasing the metallic dog. It's like kind of not Twilight, but more like kind of Outer Limits type of. I mean, it's decent. It's decent. I don't think anything can really compare to the Twilight or the Outer Limits stuff, even though it's older. MAGA Mike is so hilarious. Wow. So Lord of War only exposes Bush and Obama.
oh boy.
Doesn't expose Reagan, Bush 1, Clinton.
What does he think about going into Venezuela and taking the leader out?
Oh man, MAGA Mike. I don't think there's much that Trump could do
Mm-hmm.
that he's going to disagree with.
No.
But everybody got their opinion, man.
Yeah. I say, oh, great job. He's getting rid of the drugs. Oh, they're going to take the oil too, by the way.
Well, you know already what they just. I look at it like, wow, it's crazy, man. It really is. It's crazy to know that there are battleships and stuff going on, and we don't even know from where we're at.
No.
We don't even know. So it's like, and in Ukraine, I guess stuff is going on. Yeah. It makes me wonder, like with this whole, when you think about the way a country is run, the way the military is run, how many people are in it, it's it's ridiculously vast network.
It is. And the real reason is something probably we never told by the media.
Yeah. So MAGA Mike said he would believe if Trump started a new war, but he ended wars. So
He ended wars.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Well, people have to worship something, and he worships the presidency. So,
I mean, yeah, there's nothing Trump could do.
Mm-hmm. Well, you saw a lot of that with Obama too when he was in office. There was nothing for some people, there was nothing he could do wrong either. So, yeah, just they pick a side and they worship that side, and the elites laugh. I think they just have a big laugh.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is that they're serious.
Yeah.
They're like about emotional as like a sporting event fan.
Yes. And that's serious. Those sporting events, it's worse even in actually other countries. The soccer is completely off the wall. The way they worship their soccer teams. I think it was the coach of Colombia when they lost that match. When he arrived back, he was assassinated just for losing the match. So it's
Was that
not just.
recent?
I could look it up. I think it was a
Oh,
few
all
years.
right. Because I heard something about a guy missing a kick or something.
Because I don't watch much soccer.
Yeah, me either.
It might have been, yeah. I mean, but they lost one of their matches and they came back and he was assassinated for that. And there's the fights there are like off the chart. I mean, the fights they have in the stands. You can look at that on YouTube. Defender. Oh, okay. Murdered after scoring a goal at the World Cup. Not a coach. I don't know. I'm seeing different stories here.
Yeah, I think one guy, I don't know if he scored it for the other team, and they ended up, like, he made a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like, nah. They're like, we know you did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're very. And I remember one time I talked to a lady who was from Colombia, and she had a relative who sold his house and took his life savings out just to go to the World Cup because his team was playing in it or something like that. Yeah.
Mega Mike got a question for you. Why do you keep saying he's worshiping a side or Trump? He just agrees with him. He doesn't worship a non-God. Are you happy, Mike?
Yeah, but that's you named your name MAGA Mike. I mean, you say Trump can do no wrong. So that looks like worship to me.
Oh, shit. Okay. I guess, Mike, that's his answer. I put it up there for him. Yeah, I think Mike, I mean, everybody gets in you know, their belief system, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the political thing.
I mean, MAGA, do you have a picture of Trump in your house? Maybe he'll answer that.
It's like, I honestly, I would bet that he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he wants to answer that. Do you have a picture of the commander in chief in the premises, Mr. MAGA Mike? Just asking. He says Trump is a man like everyone else. Yeah, but we want to know, do you have a picture of him in your truck or your house? We just want to know. Do you?
I
Let's
have a
see.
picture of him in my house when I was in the military, and he showed up to our unit for an event. Okay, so he does have a picture of him somewhere. Well, it tells you the state of the world we're living in, I do. He shook my hand and took my picture, took pictures.
He has been imprinted hard. He's got the genetic imprint now.
Mm-hmm.
Shook the hand. Remember when those girls would shake the hand of like a rock star and not want to wash their hand or something like that?
I remember that.
I guess I don't know if Mega Mike has experienced that for a while.
If you were
Touching
in the
the hand.
military,
Huh?
it says maxed out. If you were in the military, which you were, you would understand we all would take pictures with the president. It's our boss.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, it's if you in the military, it's like, okay, if you if you want to, because they're not going to force you. They're not going to force you. You know, especially, I don't think, unless it's some special thing, if he's coming to see your like platoon or even your company, it's still a kind of a company is not small, but it's not large. Platoon is small. Then, okay. But even then, I can't say that I wouldn't. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. And you're right. They do force people to be there. If it was a thing like that, I can't, we're not saying anything bad about you for that. We're saying that when stuff like that happens, it has an impressionable thing to it that can make an imprint, which it kind of seems it did because of your name. And that's cool, man. It's the way you feel. It's all right. You know, remember, this is a relaxed, you can believe what you want to believe type of stream. But yeah, it's late, man. I'm tired every day. Yeah, I've been pushing on, man.
Hey, keep pushing, man.
Yeah, yeah, I
Keep
definitely
pushing. You're doing a great job. So
Yeah, man.
don't let
Yeah.
anybody tell you otherwise. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised. You know, I think I forgot who it was that was the other day was in the stream from back. Hopefully he hops on soon. Yeah, just thinking about probably tonight will be I'll look see what's I don't really want to go too much into politics, but yeah, I'll see what's up. But yeah, everybody in the chat, man. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it, man, Mr. X.
Well, thank you for having the stream.
Definitely tomorrow, man. You guys take care. And yeah, have a good one, man. Have a good night.
Everyone.
All right.